Well, hello there. Greetings from Lincoln. That's where I go to uni, by the way, if you didn't know. So we are doing our Premier League predictions on the move this week. Yes, Matchweek 16. I'll admit, I've been a busy man, so I didn't get around to my 15 predictions, but, this is why we're back to bring home the bacon for game week 16, so let's get straight into the games. Now, off the top of my head, I think the first one is the early kickoff on Saturday between Crystal Palace and Liverpool at Selhurst Park. Now, a few seasons ago, Liverpool gave them an absolute hammering. I think it was 7-0. Salah came off the bench, scored a worldie, and Darwin Núñez got sent off in this game at Anfield last season. So, just saying, history, could it repeat itself? We will have to see, but I think this will be a good game for Liverpool. Palace recently have not been great. Liverpool have been scoring. I mean, they didn't quite blow Sheffield United away, but they still got a couple of goals. And yeah, Trent is in good form. Got the assist for that Van Dijk goal, and he's been doing well recently. And then obviously the controversial Szoboszlai goal. Was it a foul from Darwin Núñez? I think it was, but it is what it is. VAR still just doing nothing really. But Liverpool, I think, win this one. I think Palace have not looked great recently. I mean, the point against West Ham was an okay result, but then really they've struggled in a lot of games this season to score goals. And clean sheets have been quite strong for Palace, to be fair. But there was not a great game against Bournemouth, was it? So I think Liverpool win this fairly comfortably. And I think Palace will score though. Palace 1, Liverpool 3. Liverpool goal scorers. Mo Salah gets 1. We'll say Cody Gakpo with a second. I know Gakpo started the game against Sheffield United, so I think he could start again. And the third Liverpool goal scorer we'll go for is Dominic Szoboszlai. And then we'll say Palace scorer, let's say Odsonne Edouard, because he's on a little decent run, so that's what we're going for. Next up, the one I can remember on the Saturday games, we've got Man United Bournemouth. Now, I think this game is probably a Man United win, you'd think, but you just never quite know with them. Bournemouth doing really well under Iraola recently. Solanke's been absolutely cooking. Whether or not he carries that on against Man United at the Theatre of Dreams, we'll have to see. But I think Bournemouth could give United a go here. Whether or not it ends up being a United result, we'll have to see. But I think United win this. I think their form recently, how Ten Hag has got manager of the month, despite their good results. I'm not quite sure when you've got Emery smashing it at Villa, but that's the Premier League for you. But no, fair play. They have got results recently, and Maguire's just played quite well. So I think United win this, and I'll say 2-1 Man United. Goal scorers, Garnacho's has been a good bit of form, I think. So I'll say a goal from him. Bournemouth goal scorer, tricky one this one. I think Bournemouth goal scorer will be Semenyo, because I've been impressed by his form recently. I think he'll keep that on for a few weeks in the next few weeks. And then the goal to win it for Man United after that Garnacho one, we'll say, say a goal from midfielder Scott McTominay. He's in great form. Fair play to him. Next up, we have got the game between Wolves and Nottingham Forest. Wolves, to be fair, in pretty strong form this season under Gary O'Neill and scoring goals through the legend Hwang Hee-chan. Not just a legend because of the fact he's been absolutely smashing it for my fantasy football team, but also a legend because, Wolves the last few seasons have not been scoring goals, but this guy just looks on fire. So fair play to Hwang. They've obviously missed Neto, but I still think they can score goals. Cunha's been playing really well as well. But Jose Sarr, will he be fit for this one? Bentley, to be fair, has done well the last couple, but we'll have to see. I think Forest, Taiwo Awoniyi still a massive miss for them. They benched Morgan Gibbs-White against Fulham, which I thought was a bit of a weird one. I'd imagine he comes back in for this against his former side, but we'll see, I guess. But I think Wolves win this. I'll say 2-0 Wolves. Hwang with both the goals. And then next up, we've got a game between... trying to think who's actually playing now. Hang on, bear with a sec. Just bear with a few seconds, lads. Right, where were we? Yes, so Saturday games. Trying to remember most of them, to be honest, because there's not too many memorable ones if I remember rightly on Saturday's games. Let's go Sheffield United. Oh yeah, Brentford. I think Brentford not been great this season, to be honest. I mean, they lost again against Brighton. Obviously Burmo's going to be out now as well. It's not ideal for them. They've had a lot of injuries, like Flecken has not been great. So I think they'll win this because it's Sheffield United and they've just been so poor. But I think Chris Wilder's, gonna get them going again, because they kept the score down at least in the Liverpool game. So I think new manager bounce possibly in a more winnable game for the Blades. But I think Brentford still, even without Brian and Burmo, they got Johan Wissa. They've got, a lot of injuries, but I think Brentford have got enough quality. I'll say Sheffield United 0, Brentford 1. The only goal, we'll say Johan Wissa. Next up, we've got a game between Burnley and... I'm trying to think now. Who is Burnley playing? Brighton, that's it. Brighton-Burnley. I think Brighton will be fairly comfortable winners. Good win against Brentford. Obviously, great moment for Jack Hinchelwood. First goal for Brighton. Also, Pedro is playing well at the moment. And I think Pascal Gross as well is also playing well. So, Brighton, back in form. The last couple of games, they've looked a bit better. I think they have to back them against a Burnley side who... Sure, they beat Sheffield United, but pretty much most teams have done that this season. And I think in midweek, it was not a great game from Burnley against Wolves, but they will bounce back a little bit because they'll get a goal, because Brighton just always concede. But I think Brighton's still fairly comfortable winners. 3-1 Brighton. I think goal scorers, Simon Adingra probably scores in this one. Burnley scorer, we'll go for Jay Rodriguez. And then other Brighton goal scorers, let's say, I don't know, Buonanotte and João Pedro, why not? Okay, next up, we have got the game between Everton, Everton against Chelsea on the Sunday. I think this will be a good game. I think goals will be in it. I think Everton probably do give a good go of it, but Chelsea, they've been scoring goals recently through Cole Palmer. I think that will continue. I'm going to say 2-0 Chelsea. I'm going to say both goals from Cole Palmer, but a fairly difficult game. I think Chelsea will just see through it 2-0. Next up, we've got the game between Manchester City and Luton at the Kenilworth. I think Luton, fair play. They to be credit to them, they gave Arsenal a good go, but ultimately the quality paid in the end. And Luton have struggled this season to hold on to results near the end. So I think City could well demolish them. I know that they lost against Villa, Man City, but this City team, even away from home, are still very, very, very scary. And Kenilworth will get on top of them, but ultimately the class will pay. Rodri will be back as well, so I think City score a few here. I'm going to say Luton 0, Manchester City 4. Yeah, we're going for the quadruple, just like City were going for last season. Erling Haaland hat-trick. Yeah, go on then. And then the second scorer, the fourth goal for City, I think it will be someone like a Kanji. Now, next up, we've got the game between Arsenal and Aston Villa at the Villa Park. Now, this could be a great game, I have to say. Could be really good. I think Villa probably score here, but I think Arsenal, they have been a bit shaky defensively recently. I don't think it will continue though. I think this week they'll keep the goals down, but only one goal. I think Villa probably give this a good go, but I'll say Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 3. Goal scorers for Arsenal, Leandro Trossard probably gets the first one. Then we'll say Gabriel Jesus after his goal in midweek against Luton. I think Arsenal will get their third goal through William Saliba, but then Aston Villa, I should say, do get a goal back through a bit of John McGinn. Now, next up, we've got a fascinating game this weekend, and it really is could go either way here. Tottenham-Newcastle. I think both sides score. I think Newcastle this season have been quite good from an offensive perspective. Isak, Gordon, a lot of goals scored from them. Now, obviously, it was a bit of a shambles against Everton, but that was mainly down to Trippier. So, we won't talk about that. But look, now I think Newcastle can really hurt this Spurs side. The way that Spurs have been defending recently, they lost again against West Ham, who, to be fair, have had a fairly similar sort of season to Villa. So I think this might be a tough one. Not Villa, Newcastle, I should say. I think this might be a tough one for Tottenham, but I think Spurs will score a couple, both from Son Heung-min, who looked like he was injured, but I think he'll be all right. I think a couple of goals for Spurs, and I think a couple of goals for Newcastle, 2-2 draw. I think Trippier whips in a great goal for Alexander Isak header, but then Gordon makes it 2 for Newcastle to end up with a draw in that game. Okay, nearly done. I think I might be near to all the games this weekend, but I'll just check that one for you people, so just bear with a second whilst I get back in my house. Bear with. Yep, we're back in the house. So just bear with a second whilst we get up the fixtures to make sure we've not missed any of them. I don't think we have, but maybe I might be wrong. Bear with, hang on, one sec. So yeah, that's pretty much most of match week 16. The only other game that I managed to forget about was Fulham West Ham. So Fulham West Ham, I think West Ham probably win this one. They've been scoring goals recently. Fulham, they've been scoring goals too, to be fair. Jimenez is back in form and Willian is doing well, but I think Fulham still defensively weak enough to lose this. Fulham 1, West Ham 3. That's what we're going for. Bowen probably doesn't score. I think instead it will be Kudus, and then we'll say Emerson. Then Fulham goal scorer, let's say Willian, and then West Ham finish off the game with a win thanks to a goal from none other than James Ward-Prowse. So I think that's every single game this weekend. Yes, it is. So thanks for watching my video. Hope you have enjoyed. Smash your predictions in the comment section below, and we'll read out the best ones when you get this in the next video, if I do a next predictions video. So yeah, make sure you get down those predictions, and yeah, it should be an interesting week of Premier League action. So Watford facing the mighty Southampton this Saturday. Should be a good game, hopefully. They got Ipswich in midweek, so fingers crossed we can have a couple of wins there. I say the mighty. They're not very mighty at the moment, Southampton, but I'm worried about Adam Armstrong, so fingers crossed we can keep him quiet. But anyway, Hwang has been in great form, and I think it's going to be a great Sunday of games. Certainly the Villa Arsenal game should be an entertaining one. So that's been my predictions. Get yours down below. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.